Good day, guys. So we are going to do FCS on SPSS. First thing, open data, file type Excel. Open, and we can choose the sheet which contains FCS. So our data set. First thing, we want to compute a variable which is target variable FCS, which is equal to, we can say, starch multiplied by its weight 2 plus beans multiplied by its weight, vegetable multiplied by its weight, so up to the last food group multiplied by its weight. We click OK. We can see that this is our FCS. We want to classify FCS, transform, recode into a different variable. We want to transform FCS to become FCS class underscore class. Old and new. From the lowest up to 21. So you choose from the lowest up to 21. Output are strings. You can increase the width maybe to 12, depends. Then from the lowest up to 21, of which is from 0 is our lowest, up to 21 is classified as poor. We add. We want to add from 21.5 up to 35. We choose this one's 21.5 up to 35. We have to as borderline. We have to add it. Then from 35.5 up to the highest. So that's why I picked it through the highest up to the highest. Is classified as acceptable. We add. So from lowest to 21 is pure. 21.5 to 35 is borderline. 35.5 to the highest is acceptable. We click continue, we click change, we click OK. So we have our FCS. Now we want to go to 4 kinds of analysis. 3 of them we are going to find them in this analyze descriptive statistics. We have frequencies, descriptives, and cross-tables. So I am going to start with the simpler one, which is descriptive statistics. Descriptives. We want to do just a simple descriptive of meat. Options. You select the mean. Maybe you want the minimum and the maximum. You might need the sum. Then we click. We want to know that meat, there are all entries are 599. The minimum is 0, maximum is 7, and the mean is 3.69. You need to know what is FCS and what actually it seeks to achieve. The information in FCS, it ranges from 0 up to 7. What it means, the question in the FCS questionnaire, it asks about for how many days have you consumed meat in the past 7 days. So it ranges from 0 up to 7. and all those people, they consumed meat for total number of these days in the past 7 days all together. Then mean, they consume meat for average of 3.69 days. That's the average meat consumption days. So we are done with the descriptives. Under descriptive statistics, we move on to analysis using descriptives and frequencies. Frequencies is more advanced than descriptive, so we want to analyze maybe meat and fruit. You can analyze, control, select meat and fruit, statistics. We want the mean, maybe want the sum, maybe want the quartiles, the minimum and the maximum, maybe in the range. We click OK. So we can see that this is frequencies. It simply gives you what you have already get in descriptive, so it's more advanced than descriptive. Actually, all what you need to know in descriptive is there in frequency. The mean, which you get, is there. The range, which is the maximum minus the minimum. The minimum is 0 for fruits, the maximum is 7. The sum of days they consumed the fruits is 2,212. The percentiles, which is the lower quartile, 25% is the lower quartile. What it means, 25% people consumed fruits for 1 day and below, which is 0 and 1. So they belong in the 0 and 1 category. 50% of people consumed fruits for 4 days and below. 75% of all those people, they consumed for 6 days and below. So that this is how you interpret quartiles, which is actually the quota percentages. We go to frequency table for fruits. Actually, those who consumed fruits for 0 days, which is those who do not consume fruits for the past 7 days, they are 77, and it actually constitutes 12.9%. Those who consumed fruits for 2 days, they are 55, and it constitutes 9.2%. We want to know about this cumulative. Cumulative, it simply means this value and below, or at most. So those who consumed at most 3 days, what it means, it includes 3 days, 2, 1, and 0. So you simply have to add this in order to know the percentage of those who consumed at most 3 days. But it is already calculated in the cumulative. So those who consumed 3 days and below, it's 45. What it means, 3 days and below, 45% of people. Those who consumed 5 days and below, or at most 5, it's actually 67.4%. What it means, if all they belongs to 0 and 7, the cumulative for 7 should be 100%. What it means, everybody belongs to 7 and below. So this is the frequency table for fruits. Same applies to how you interpret meat. We are going to move on to the next analysis, which is analysis descriptive statistics cross tabs. Cross tab, we have rows and columns. So I can choose my district to be rows. Then I can choose, I'm choosing meat to be a column. You may add another one, maybe starch. You choose cells. Observed, you may choose rows, column, total, we need to know the percentages within the rows, within the columns, and so on. So let's go on. This is the district and meet cross tabulation. So as you see, Hwange first rows, the rows are the district, and we have the column meet. 0 days, this is the column 1 up to 7. Those who consumed meat for 7 days. How many are they in the Hwange district? There are 7. And they constitute 5.6% within the district. What it means, within this district, which have a total of 126 people, 7 of them consume meat for 7 days. Those 7 people, they constitute 5.6% of 126 people. So this is within district. We need to see within the meat, within this column of 0, these 7 people in the Hwange district, they constitute 9.1% of those that consumed meat for 0 days. Yeah, if you calculate 7 out of these people, out of 77, if we add them, there are 77. 7 out of 77, they constitute 9.1%. So within meat is within this column. Same applies to this column. We can see that Lupane constitutes 16.7% of those that consumed meat only once or 1 day. So we can go to within total. It is within the whole total. These 7 people in Hwange district who consumed 0, they are actually 1.2% of the whole total. So you need to know this is within the district, and this is within the meat column, and this is within the whole total. This is cross tabulation. We can move on to starch. So they can ask you a question like, in the Lupane district, how many people consumed meat for exactly 4 days? There are actually 49. And what percentage is those people that consumed exactly 4 days to the whole total of Lupane district? They actually constitute 43.8% of the Lupane district. What about within the column of all those that consumed for 4 days? We can actually see they are 38.9%. And out of the whole population, they constitute 8.2. Actually, the question is usually they ask you in this column, the 7th, what it means, this is the best column. If someone who is considered to be rich can consume meat, because meat have the highest weight, 4 is the highest weight, it's considered to be the best. So those who consume meat are considered to be a bit richer, or they can access food compared to others. So actually in Hwange district, there are 14 of those people. They constitute 11.1% of the whole district. What it means, around 89.9 people, they belongs not to this class in Hwange. So we can see that the district with the highest percentage of these people is this one, Ngai. Actually, people in Ngai, they are 35, and they constitute 27.8% of those people in Ngai. So we can actually say 27.8 people In Ngai, they consume meat for all 7 days. And what percentage is those people in Ngai out of the O in this column? We can see that they are 36.1 in this column of 7, among the best. As we compare with other districts, they constitute 36.1. Out of the whole population, they constitute 5.8%. Cross tabulation, we are done. We move on to the last one. I'm going to do it in two phases: analysis, analyze, compare means. District is the independent, and we can put our FCS as the dependent list. It actually depends on district. Put option, we can choose a so many, but for now let's do only mean. So we deselect others. Continue. Click OK. We can compare. We need to create a table. We paste this information. We can delete this one total. Actually, what it means, the average FCS for the whole is this one. We can delete this one. We can select this one, and we can put it insert recommended charts. This is the recommended chart. You can click. You can add data labels. This is Hwange district, so we can see that Umguza district has highest FCS score, is the highest average, because this means average FCS score, which constituted maybe a mark of 61.7. So all of these districts, they have a classification of FCS classified as acceptable. So we have created the table. We can go back to create another compare means. Compare means doesn't necessarily mean you have to compare using means. Let's do analyze, compare means. We might need some. We might choose. We want to pick meat now. Maybe we want to put milk. Again, choose option. We may choose to see the minimum. We want to know the minimum days that these people consume meat. We might need the maximum. We might need the sum. We may actually remove means. Compare means does not mean you have to include mean. Yes, this is our means. It doesn't need mean of the district. Hwange actually, alright, mean or of district meat versus district, we have 599 entries, cases, alright, and percentage. Alright, we have this report, minimum of 0 and maximum of 7 and sum of 420. Lupane, minimum of 0, maximum of 7, sum of 392. What it means, this is the sum of the days people in Lupane altogether consumed meat. So you can actually compare this district versus this district using others. Let's maybe use FCS, analyze we want to see compare means. FCS option, we want to know maybe the minimum. So we can see that the minimum FCS in Hwange district, what it means, the poorest person or the worst case scenario in Hwange is what is meant by the minimum. The lowest person in Hwange have FCS score of 20, in Lupane 28.5. So we can compare using the worst case scenarios in this district. If it means that the minimum in Hwange district is 20 and the worst case scenario of Lupane district is 28, what it means, Lupane district, the worst case scenario, it falls under borderline, while the worst case scenario of Ngai, it falls under a borderline. So which one is the worst? You can copy this one, you can paste it to Excel. Insert recommended charts. This is the minimum FCS. We need to indicate here, you add data labels, we need to know. So the worst case scenario, this is the minimum so you can analyze using this data. The minimum FCS of Hwange district is 20. What it means, the poorest person in Hwange district has FCS score of 20, and this one, so which Ngai is better placed? Why? Because the poorest person in the Ngai district is actually the 30.5, which is actually a borderline. So we can know that the poorest person in Ngai, at least he is classified as borderline, as compared to this one of Hwange, who is classified as poor. What I want to show you that compare means does not necessarily mean you have to use mean. You can use minimum, you can use sum. Thank you for watching.